Hi, I'm Rusty Squire. I'm one of the first 4,000 licensed drone pilots in the United States. And what got me into drones was I had a pilot's license. And so back in those days, back before 2017, not just anybody could go fly a drone commercially. You had to have a pilot's license.
I would say my curiosity with drones really kind of started on a maybe personal basis. I saw people using them and thought it was kind of a cool toy. Just the idea of being able to fly and record things in perspective, seeing cool YouTube channels that did it, for example, like Casey Neistat, some other cool YouTube channels that really utilized drone footage and made it really kind of a cool perspective to see. That's what got me into and interested in drones.
My dad is a pilot. I grew up being surrounded by airplanes, and from just being a kid, I was fascinated by them. It led me to being an aeronautical engineer. And the most accessible way that I could stay in that world without becoming a full pilot with all the time and money that requires is to fly drones. And so that was how I started.
I would say, like a technological future that is kind of cool. It feels like drone technology feels just beyond reach of what was normal just a few years ago. Being able to take high quality photos and video from a really high perspective, especially with technology that really is fairly inexpensive.
The ability to create establishing shots that help give a sense of place and location.
Mostly the freedom to explore another dimension. I think there's a lot of really practical uses of drones, but something that I love about them is the way that they can be used creatively. I do a lot of top-down photography, which is obviously flying a drone and looking straight down at the ground, and I'm constantly finding things that look mundane, boring from the ground, that as you look at them from above, they're spectacular. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind, is just the expansion and creativity that they allow.
Being able to see from the perspective of a drone and being able to fly around and see all aspects of the roof and identify if there's storm damage makes it A, safer, and B, easier to do. It makes the job of inspecting a roof much better.
It's fascinating. I'm constantly blown away at the perspective that drones allow, and right now I'm mostly paying attention to the way that drones can make something safer and cheaper and a lot quicker. They can replace all sorts of heavy and expensive machinery, like helicopters, cranes, all sorts of things that would normally have to be done on a huge scale can now be done with a piece of equipment and an operator that knows what they're doing. And I think that that's incredible.
Being able to see from a whole new perspective impacts you, because without renting very expensive equipment like helicopters, we couldn't get shots like this in the past. So it's brought great establishing shots to very low budget production.
Doing inspections of roofs makes it way safer because it just eliminates the risk of putting my feet on the roof and potentially having an accident or something like that. Not that I think that usually happens, but it just eliminates that option if I'm down on the ground flying the drone around. And I think the implications of that are probably sky high. You can do all kinds of things with drones, inspections and things like that in the construction field and probably many other fields. And as you have more and more high-powered drones, you can use that even to lift and maneuver things. There are lots and lots of options for drones.
I think that the impact of drones across industries right now cannot be overstated. I think that not only the technology with drones, but also software that's being developed alongside that really make drones a powerful tool now and moving forward. Things are being done right now, not only in real estate, not only in construction, but also scientists are using drones to map migration patterns of birds or track the boundaries of forests to see how those move. Really, really cool applications, and I think that as we get more creative and move forward, that's only going to grow.
Without question, drones are making the world a better place for public safety, being used by police departments, search and rescue. They're being used for agriculture and spray application, along with analysis of soil types, delivery of medications, and soon, through Amazon and UPS and others that will be using drones. So, drones have become much more household.
Bridger Aerospace here is a company, it's a firefighting company here. They actually are developing a drone you use for, I think they have 2 or 3 of them, for fighting fires, which is super cool because obviously firefighting is very dangerous work. And if you can mitigate that while taking the human out of it, that's huge. I don't think there's going to be like complete drone in the aviation industry. There's not going to be complete automation like that for probably we're not going to see that in our lifetime at least I don't think. But like small hops like Uber, Uber is doing that, single or the, little quadcopter VTOL thing. That's probably going to be a big hit for especially inner city type thing. That's going to be huge. So drones are going to be an interesting one. I think drones, at least for the first part that we're going to see, is a lot of small time use, such as like, small firefighting or, surveillance is going to be a big one. Or small town to town hop or city, inner city hop like Uber.
The funny answer is that we are not spying on you. But the serious answer is that there are ways to fly a drone that are safe and that are governed. And if you buy a drone, please don't just throw it up in the air and hope that you're doing everything right. Look into the regulations, make sure that you fly safely so that we can continue to do this thing and use these tools.
Most people think of them as a toy. I often have them out whenever I'm doing a roof inspection or something like that, and most folks are like, "Oh, that's cool," and it's fun to fly around. I think anything like that is, but I wish that more folks knew that it is actually a really good functional tool, especially in the roofing business. But I'm sure that's the case for many other businesses as well.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Did you know that AII is entirely donor funded? We can only create more video content like this with generous donations from viewers like you. Want to help us build a more innovative future? Head on over to aii.org/donate to make your donations today.